Back on the SportsMax zone, and we're going to the courts now. Newly elected president of Barbados Netball Association, Dr. Cameta Douglin, is eager to make a stellar contribution to the sport on her island. Douglin is the guiding hand behind the inaugural City of Bridgetown Netball League set to begin on Sunday. 55 teams divided into 6 divisions will compete over approximately 15 weeks in a round-robin format. In her capacity as president, Douglin has also spearheaded the recent appointment of Englishwoman Pamela Hesson as the new technical director of the Barbados Netball Association. Dr. Douglin, welcome again to the SportsMax zone. And let me first of all congratulate you on the appointment of your technical director, which you had told us about the last time we spoke to you. So can we start there quickly before we talk about the exciting league coming up? How is Hesson settling in, and what are your expectations from her?
Yeah. Hi, good evening, everyone. And yes, of course, we're eager to have her on board. She actually arrives in Barbados on Friday, which is March 3rd, just for the start of our season. And we're expecting a lot from her. She has actually been involved in the England pathway for a very long time. She was involved in coaching for over 20 years and in netball for over 40 years. So we're expecting a lot. She actually states that she wants to start a developmental program in Barbados from the schools, high schools, right through to the seniors, and a pathway similar to what she has been involved in England.
So how much will she be a part of looking on to this 55-team tournament? That's a lot of teams and a massive event that you're embarking on here.
Yes, this is usually our annual event, but because of COVID, we haven't had such a massive event since 2019. And we are eager, and all of the clubs are eager to be back on board. And they're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to the opening. And I think basically as she works with the juniors and the seniors right through that pathway, she will be looking on and watching for other outstanding players that we can also involve in our senior national team.
Yeah, I can't help but asking the question as well about the timeliness of this event, because the Barbados Nationals are getting ready for the World Championships in Cape Town, South Africa this summer. So as far as match sharpness is concerned, I suspect that your players will welcome this opportunity to be on court.
Yes, of course. I think they've been looking forward to it for the last 3 years because basically last year we had just an open, very short, about a month tournament. There wasn't really much netball being played. So everybody is looking forward to this event. And we are all excited that it will be a grand occasion. And as you said, we have 55 teams that will be playing throughout from the Premier. Unfortunately, we have 5 teams at the Premier level. People tend to shy away from the Premier level because that is the elite. But 5 teams will be playing 2 rounds each. And we're looking forward to seeing those. But when you look at the Division 2s and 3s, you can still get some stars coming through. So we're looking at all the divisions. We're not limiting any division.
Right. And of course, you gave us a bit of insight into the format of the competition. How crucial is it to the players that are taking part? Because there are going to be so many different eyes on the young Barbados netballers when we talk about planning for the future of netball where Barbados is concerned.
Yeah, that is important. Actually, we are planning to have a developmental squad, which is 14 years and under. And under 21, as you know, World's under 21 is coming up in 2025. So we're going to be looking at those young players to try to get them involved in that developmental squad as well as the under 21. Right now, we've invited all of our under 23 players that did so well at the K-Knot Games into the senior squad. So we have a lot of young persons in training as well. So this tournament, you'll be seeing all ages. And we'll be looking out for those outstanding young players to involve in our squads.
Right, and in the capacity that you hold, many people try to shy away from focusing on rankings and whatnot. But the Caribbean, they've produced some amazing netballers, and Barbados ranked 14th. Under your tenure, are you concerned about ensuring that you climb up the rankings?
Well, we're hoping to improve our ranking, but as you know, it takes games to play. We're trying to get Uganda down. We're still talking to them. We're actually moving a step closer each time because we need to get those transit visas, and now we're a step closer. So we're hoping that once we get them here, we can have a tri-series, and that can help to improve our ranking. Then the OECS games, that also helps with the ranking. But apart from the ranking, we want to plan for the future. So we want to make sure that we involve a lot more young players, that as the years go, we have 4 years at the helm here. So by the time we look at the third or the fourth year, our ranking would have gone up tremendously. So it's not just going to happen overnight.
Yeah. How satisfied are you at this stage with the level of netball that is being played in Barbados?
I think we can have some improvement. It isn't, I wouldn't say bad, because when we look at the Eastern Caribbean and we look outside of Jamaica and Trinidad, I think our standard of netball is pretty much the highest. But obviously, we want to improve that standard of play, and that calls for coaches and good coaches. So what Pamela is going to be doing when she comes, she's also going to be working with our coaches, both at the secondary school level, as well as our club coaches and our national coaches, to try to boost not just the experience, but the skills of our coaches, so we can have better coaches coaching our teams, so we can have better players.
Yeah, and time will be important for Pamela as well, won't it? Because you can't expect that it's going to be an overnight turnaround of Barbados netball. And so if you're talking about development, if you're talking about helping the coaches who are there, if you're talking about getting more youngsters into the sport, then by extension, you're also talking about giving her time to get all of this done. So how much time does she have? I know you have 4 years in office at least to begin with, but how long will Pamela be here?
Well, for the first trunk, she'll be here for 6 months, but we can also extend that. We actually have some funding that we can extend it a little further. So we'll be evaluating her progress after the first 3 months, and then after 6 months, and then we will decide, if we will extend that.
Yeah, so how concerned are you? Because I think about 6 months, right? And in my mind, I think to myself, 6 months is barely enough time to start evaluating what is going on around you. It's really not enough time to start putting in the systems and to really start working. It's almost just an evaluation period. So how concerned are you that this 6 months will not be enough to get done what you require to be done?
I'm not actually very concerned. I know it's not enough time to do everything, but we need to put things in place, and we can see what is being put in place, and that is important. So we would realize the developmental program, how it is started, how it is going. So our evaluation isn't to say, well, we're going to stop here. Our evaluation is to say we want to keep moving forward and we want to do better, and there are other balances and checks that we need to put in place. So it's going to be a very comprehensive evaluation, knowing that we need a lot more than 6 months. We need 4 years right through. But, we want to see where are we now, where are we at the end of the 3 months, at the end of the 6 months, then to move forward to see what else we need to include. So it's not a stop shop, but it is how do we move on and keep moving on.
Yeah, well, Doc, a big weekend here in Barbados. The city of Bridgetown Netball League starting off the day after the Sandalane Barbados Gold Cup, which we'll talk about a lot more on the show today. So I'm a bit envious that I'm not in Barbados this weekend.
Yeah, I hope that after the Gold Cup, you could have stayed for the opening, because it's going to be extremely exciting. Yeah. As you said, we have lots of clubs, because you parade in clubs rather than just in teams. So we have 26 clubs parading. But apart from that, we are bringing a lot to it. We have a tuck band. we have entertainment, and I must say to you, we have the most honorable Stetson Wiltshire, red plastic bag, who's just come on board as one of our associate members, and he will be performing for us, and we will actually have an after party. And then we also have lots of giveaways. We have 2 sponsors. We have Massey Distribution on board, and we have the City of Bridgetown Credit Union on board. So it's going to be a really fabulous evening that, you know, we are unfolding. And then we have some characters as well that will be popping up from all over the place. So, I mean, it is a must come and a must see. As the teams parade, there will be excitement. And then we're also having 2 games. We're having some of our juniors or under 16 squad that has just been selected to represent Barbados in Dominica at the Caribbean Championships. They will be playing against a pass under 16 team. And then we will have a Premier League game that will be played, and that would be an hour full game.
All right.
So all of these things are happening.
Yeah, okay. Dr. Cameta Douglin, thank you very much for talking to us, and all the best for your opening on Sunday. And you said red plastic bag will be there, so we know it's going to be big.
Definitely.
Raga, raga,
Yes,
raga, 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 raga.
That's right.
A lot more to come on the SportsMax Zone after this. We'll be back.
Stay with SportsMax on YouTube and follow us on all social pages for updates, news and entertainment.